So we got to go ahead and talk about this whole situation involving Rory, Maul, and their former co-host, Julian.
Julian!
This is what you get paid for, to do this. Why are you throwing this in my face like you did something that you weren't asked to do? Just sit there and go, I did this. And it's like, nah, no, that was the agreement. Should I, like, give you a big hug because you did what you were supposed to do?
Nah, you got to put their name, like, in lights, and, like, every day they walk and have balloons for them.
I'm almost 20 weeks in. Actually, this is the 20th episode of my show. And I've made a very concerted effort to leave that part of my life behind. I haven't spoken about my firing since the first 2 episodes. I've disconnected from Twitter Spaces, Reddit threads, all the places in which I could get caught up in, in the comments. I've turned to therapy, which I've been extremely open about on this show. I've talked through the hellish year that I've had with my therapist, and also to an extent here. I've committed to working on myself more than I ever have in my life. In the past, it was easy for me to work on myself purely physically. It's like, okay, well, I'm in a bad space. Let me just throw on 15, 20 pounds of muscle and just look better. Because if I look better, it presents that I'm feeling great. But we all know that that's not how life works. The physicality of it is such a small piece of the real work that needs to be done on your mental state. We don't need to embellish that. Then here comes Rory on this. I guess this is a Patreon clip. This was sent to me. This Patreon episode, of course, tuck it behind the paywall. And this is what I love. Like, the fact that you've convinced yourself that this is where our relationship fractured because I didn't have balloons, or I didn't get enough hugs or praise, or, you guys didn't give me enough head in between every episode we did, shows you how little you actually listened to or cared about me in the first place. I could not have been more open or transparent regarding my, concerns, whether it was over an email, text, or phone calls. Obviously, I don't have the phone calls on record, but I have plenty of emails, and they know exactly the email in particular that I'm referring to. Actually, they might not, because they never fucking read it. And the text messages as well. I poured my heart out. And it wasn't just emotionally. It was also backed up with facts and support that also supported the things that I was saying, which we can get into in a bit. Like, I don't get how. I mean, I get it because I know these guys, and they do this with every relationship that they have. Like, Rory, like, you're fumbling through a BetterHelp script when it's clear your therapy is just about as effective as Maul's diet. You guys are just fucking convincing yourself of things that couldn't be further from the truth. And I don't feel like it's my job to set the two of you straight that have lived. I'm not trying to bring Damaris or drag her through the mud with this shit. But if anyone can relate to anything that I'm saying, it's Damaris, because we bonded deeply over this stuff. We could even start by how Damaris and I were met. The impetus of our relationship was awful, and that wasn't on our doing. That was because of the two of them. Basically, I was doing social media at the time. She was the producer. They were severely under-delivering to SiriusXM, like less than half of what they were supposed to be doing, numbers-wise. So I come from just socials to now producing as well. And it wasn't a matter of like a transfer of power. It was like one day Rory asked me to come over to record, and I just sat in Damaris's seat. And she didn't know what was happening, nor did I, and that was where we met. And not only did they do that, but they cut Damaris's pay as well. So why the fuck would Damaris have anything nice to say about me when I just waltzed into the studio, not only took your seat, but if you're doing the math, which I don't blame her at the time, she's also being like, well, he's also not only taking my seat and my role on the show, but he drained my pockets too. So let's just start there. I mean, that was my introduction to this whole thing.
I don't understand why Rory and Maul decided to poke the bear a little bit, unless there's something I'm missing, where Julian may have said something beforehand that caused them to respond on Patreon, and which led us to here, to where he's over here revealing that, oh, y'all been cutting Damaris's pay and things of that nature. Now, whether that is true, I don't know. Like, it's all for Damaris to come out and speak out against. If it is true that it is something that happened and they kind of moved past it, they're at a good place now. But I don't understand the toxic mudslinging. This is like, it's crazy. Rory and Mal were just talking about Cardi B and Offset doing the mudslinging. Now they doing the mudslinging with Julian, and it's crazy. Again, somebody got to fill me in. Was it something that Julian said prior to leading to that Patreon clip, and which led to him saying what he said, or what? Like, did they just feel like, you know, disturbing hornets? I don't even understand what's the goal or what's the end goal to try to reveal things like that publicly when you never did once before. Like, you never had a problem or you never had an issue with these problems when you worked there. But now all of a sudden, like, you're out, and anything they say, you're willing to bring up old shit that y'all done probably hashed over time and time again, just to, you know, just to be a cheap knock. My thing is, if you didn't say nothing about it when you was there publicly, when the cameras were rolling and people seen it, then why even bother bringing it up when you're not there no more? If you was quiet then, you ought to be quiet now. You can respond to what the heck they doing, but you ain't got to bring up the Damaris stuff. You ain't got to bring up any other shit that can land them in hot water. Like, you ain't gotta do none of that. It don't have to be said. I will say though, it wasn't that long ago Maul sat on his chair saying that he don't want to beef with anybody on a podcast.
Everybody go do your thing, have fun, create your spaces, your podcast, your shows, whatever you want to do, live life, go do it, man. Just please, whatever you do, make sure we don't cross paths.
I just wish this whole podcast breakup had of went a little bit better than what it should. Like, y'all could hate each other when the camera's not rolling and behind closed doors, but publicly be like, okay, he went his ways, we went our ways, we still fuck with him, we still appreciate all the contributions he made to Rory and Mal, and Julian could be like, well, I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity, and salute. Like, just take the same route that Eden did when he left. I mean, granted, he got let go, but he didn't go to Instagram and start kicking in nobody's back end or nothing like that. He didn't say nothing. He has not said a word about Rory and Mal ever since he got let go. He has been living his life, doing his own thing, whatever that is. Why Julian can't do the same, I don't know. People been saying because his views are low, and that's why he felt the need to bring up Rory and Mal, and, you know, not because of his own podcast, which of course, that's typically how it works when you have a podcast breakup. Hell, it happened to Rory and Mal. The first couple episodes or so got a lot more traction because of the breakup that they had with Joe Budden's crew, and it was nuclear red hot at the time. It still is kind of in a Cold War state right now, but nuclear red hot at the time. All in all, in this situation, I think both of y'all are in the wrong. Y'all acting like two hurt exes, like trying to hurt each other for the sake of hurting each other. Hurt people. And eventually, after that whole thing subsided, they really had to, you know, get in the studio and grind. They couldn't just keep dissing Joe Budden for years and years and years, despite how many numbers it probably would have got them, because it would have came off as corny and lame. Same thing with Julian. Julian got to learn the thing or two from Rory and Mal. You can't keep bringing them up just to boost your views up a little bit. Then as soon as it goes back down, you want to bring them up. You can't do that. You have to get in the lab, get in the booth, put in the work, and then get to where you at. Because eventually Rory and Mal got their footing. It took them years to get to where they're at. And I know it's going to take Julian to get to where he's at. I mean, granted, he had one hell of a launching pad with Rory and Mal. I mean, damn it, who would want a launching pad like that? I just think this whole thing could have been handled so much better and behind closed doors than it actually was. But y'all let me know what you think about this mess in the comments below. Till next time, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.